I think I'd say that Jalen Duren is one of my favorite prospects in this class. Someone who is just so incredibly toolsy, with real defensive player of the year level upside on that end, or maybe a little bit below actually because of his size, but someone with an interesting miscast and maybe tough to project offensive game. And I think Duren's offense is going to be like the key swing skill for like him sticking or not, because the defense is going to be awesome, but it's just how much can he provide on offense. And I think he definitely was kind of rough there, as the season began, where he was asked to be a short role playmaker and like an advantage extender for his team, and he wasn't really able to. Like, he has a lot of space to drive into, and once he takes a couple dribbles, he opens up a couple passing lanes. You could simple kick out, you could do a skip, and Duren ends up just drawing a charge. Anyway, he's playing sped up. He's not necessarily aware of his options, and he's not ready to make those decisions. All like low feel tenants, common again. Duren on the short roll, one of the indicators I like to see is like, do I see a pass that is seems obvious to me on film that the player isn't making? And like, this is pretty wide open here. Obviously, he's got to pass around the big man here, but like, there's so much space here. And if you can get it there, that's an easy layup. And obviously, he tries and notices late. It's like Duren is noticing these passes eventually, but it's taking him some time. Again, a play like this where it's a very similar... actually, no, that was just the play I showed. Never mind. A play like this where we have another short roll possession, very similar to that first one where we have someone in the weak corner and a kick out. Again, Duren just barreling into defenders, not able to convert that one. But as the season progressed, he seemed to improve a little bit. This Alabama game was the first time I really noticed it, where things are still not perfect. Like, Duren bobbles the ball, but he takes a dribble and makes a simple kick out. Remember, in this same situation, in the last set of plays, Duren was here, took another dribble, and turned the ball over with a man in the dunker spot. But now he surveys his options. He notices this defender crashing and kicks it out. Very, very good stuff. Simple, but nice. Again, this is actually not the same clip, but a very simple one as well. A very similar one, where Duren kind of has one decision to make here. There's not really another decision to make. I mean, he's not going to be making this weak side skip. So you hit the open corner, and he does it. He does it on time. He does it on target. It's very simple stuff, but it's good progression from where we were. And this was like the really eye-popping play, where Duren ends up making a pretty impressive pass. So he gets the ball on the roll, and he has a kind of smaller player, and he's surveying help. There isn't really an obvious pass here, I'd say. The defense is very square. Defenders in perfect X out or off ball zone position. So Duren sees Landers not like calling for it. He kind of pumps and turns his body, and then whips it over his head to Quinones, which is wide open. This is high level stuff. Really surveying his options, making a play, noticing this defender jutting out to the wing, and finding an open shooter. That was really awesome. Again, as we'll kind of talk about, I think for bigs in Duren's role, like, one of the most important things is to just be able to do flow of the offense decision making. So like DHOs, dribble handoffs, pick and rolls, short rolls, some perimeter handling and handoffs and flip screens. Because these players are providing so much value on defense. Someone like Rudy Gobert, who is a great finisher and like on the little things on offense, which supplements his amazing defensive value. So Duren, I think, really improved the flow of offense stuff as he settled, and Memphis is a rough context for him. They don't have any real talented guards. They don't really have players who can pass the ball, and as like a lob finishing extraordinaire, Duren is going to need that to thrive. So that's going to be something to notice. This when he's in the NBA, he's almost certainly going to have a more competent passer on his team. But again, simple stuff, lifting to the high post, or actually lifting to above the 3-point line. I believe this is kind of a zone. Immediately catching and backdooring. Nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, but executing the offense and making sound decisions. Again, another play like this where they are twisting into a high-low here. Nothing crazy. Duren just floats in a great entry pass to Earl Timberlake ceiling. Nothing crazy, nothing incredible or mind-blowing, but just simple offensive execution stuff that makes it so your elite defensive center isn't just wasted or isn't a zero. This one I really like a lot, as duren kind of very quickly makes this skip read. As it's not immediate, of course, and this doesn't really seem to be a set play either, which is nice. He's kind of noticing this help as he turns. He's not going to be someone who's immediately processing. Like the great passers catch this no when it's out. It's out right now. But duren has to take a second, survey, and he is really looking. He is seeing, and he can whip those passes. And I love how the rest of this play turns out. Just another emblem of how awesome duren is. The motor for the steal and the little pass there, and then a mean dunk. He's freaking awesome. I think it's probably worth noting that in EYBL in high school, he was definitely more a prolific, and prolific in the sense of volume of a passer than he is at Memphis. Like he was making these kind of quick decisions, which again, really nice, impressive, connective stuff when he was playing with better players relatively. So I think there definitely was evidence of this happening early in the season as his role expanded for Memphis and he got more comfortable. And then I want you to remember those short roll clips that we went over early, the running into guys for a charge, or like even on the good ones, like the stumbling and bumbling his way into a correct decision. I want you to watch these short roll passes late in the season, late in AAC play when he's figuring stuff out, like this one against Houston where he executing a play. Oh, I went too far back. Again, this one against Houston, he sets the screen, and he's going to be another short roll situation, takes a dribble, makes a decision. This is live dribble passing in big space because there are two guys on the wing, lots of space to work with. duren quick dribble, immediate decision. Like this is so much improved. Just look how much you can see how much more under control he is as well. And then play like this where it's another short roll. Like duren flips again. I think duren is a uniquely good screener because like a lot of freshman bigs are really bad screeners, but duren is like really good aside from being enormous. Again, wisely flips this screen into a short roll lob, and we remember like the plays earlier in this video where duren couldn't find this the same or similar pass. Where now later in the season, duren has adjusted and learned and is hitting this kind of pass, which is just something I love to see. And then this is kind of the last point that I want to make, where duren ends up hitting a little floater here, but you do need to be able to score off the short roll. Being able to pass it might not be enough if duren is not good enough elsewhere offensively. So the question is going to be, can he dribble into a self-created layup, or can he incorporate a little push shot game? So it's always nice to see shots like this. And while duren's like passing numbers are certainly not great, assist to turnover ratio is like not the most amazing indicator for passing in feel, but it's okay. And this was duren's at 0.6, which is pretty bad. Under 1 is generally below average, and it certainly is like a bust detector. Like Anthony Bennett, Derek Williams, Jabari Parker, Okafor, Favors, Zeller, take your pick. It certainly is never a good sign when a player is struggling here, but I think we see the ones that are really exceptional. Like Embiid obviously had outlier tools. And then Onyeka Okongwu is a prospect who's been compared to duren somewhat. I think they're pretty different in a lot of ways, but the passing development is similar. Someone who has turned into a capable flow of the offense passer while having similar problems to duren, as having similar issues to duren in college. Where Onyeka, again, you see a play like this where he catches the ball in the middle and isn't really able to make a quick decision. We saw duren make these kind of exact same plays where you have multiple options, like a wing and a skip, or a corner and a skip, or a corner and a wing, and just really not see it or not even consider it. And again, some of the passes Onyeka was making were good flow of the offense stuff. Sees a cutter, picks him out. Nothing crazy, nothing revolutionary. And then in the NBA, Onyeka has definitely improved as a passer to the point where he has some connective value, I'd say, and I would say he's on track to becoming a positive passer for his role. Onyeka is going to survey, and just look how different this is from that first clip, which is cool. It's cool that I found this like pretty direct comparison where Onyeka is in a similar instance, trapped in the paint, has two defenders on the wing and just doesn't even look, or two of his teammates on the wing and just doesn't even look. Where in this other new clip, Onyeka is in a similar situation, crowded in the paint, takes his time, takes a dribble, spins to survey, and even uses some manipulation. His body going this way, the pass going this way. That's really, really impressive growth. And I think he did a similar baseline than Duren. And again, Onyeka can also just do flow of the offense stuff. Like we've been saying, quick little slip to John Collins here when two defenders go to Bogdanovic. Very simple stuff, nothing crazy. I think also another player who could potentially be a nice one to look at is who was I going to look at? Right. Jarrett Allen, again, was another one who had a very low assist to turnover ratio somewhere. I think he was 0.3. Yeah, not great. So he was super toolsy and athletic, similar to Duren. And again, has become someone who can make flow of the offense passes. A simple cut low. Jakob Pertl, another one on this list of low ATOs, not a spectacular passer in college at all by any means. Probably even worse than Duren. But again, is just someone who is able to make plays within the flow of the offense. That's a really, really nice pass to a cut. And then as well, just a similar backdoor. We saw Duren make a very similar play as well. So I think all of this is to say that I'm probably a believer in Jalen Duren's passing. He really, really can do it. And while the decision-making and the processing is always going to be kind of limited and kind of slow, I really think Duren's going to be someone who can make the learned simple reads, the short roll pass to the corner or the tag, or the DHO flow, or some simple stuff from the elbow. I really think that's going to be in Duren's future, and if that's the case, I think he's a pretty exciting prospect because of how awesome the defense is. Let me know what you think.